BMW's new era of digitalization is just around the corner. It's set to make its debut on the first Neue Klasse car set to be unveiled in end 2025, and we're here in South Carolina to catch a full-blown sneak preview of it. This is your first look at the all-new BMW iDrive system powered by BMW Operating System X. Before we get into all the details, let's return first to a very simple question. Why does all of this matter, and why should you care? After earlier teasers, this BMW Panoramic Vision iDrive that you see marks the most fully formed iteration of the new operating system we've seen so far, and you might just find this on your next BMW. You likely already know that this will debut on the first Neue Klasse car that's set to be launched by end 2025, but here's a super important bit BMW has made sure to note. BMW Panoramic Vision iDrive will be integrated into all new BMW models across all vehicle segments and with all drive technologies. In other words, whether you intend to buy your BMW fully electric or stick with good old combustion power, you can expect to see this nonetheless. And that brings us to important question number 2. What exactly do you need to know about BMW Panoramic Vision iDrive? Just as an overarching note, BMW says that this setup was designed with an eyes on the road, hands on the wheel philosophy, and as you can see, there are 4 core elements that make up the all-new BMW iDrive system. We have our ergonomic steering wheel, we have our large central display that's angled towards the driver, and of course, we have the Panoramic Vision display, which is the star of the show, and finally, a 3D head-up display up there. To be fair, seeing all 4 as disparate parts is not really the point because it's quite clear that BMW has designed them to work as a singular display and operating concept. Regardless, let's start with the BMW Panoramic Vision, which you can think of as a head-up display on steroids. Instead of a long screen, what you're looking at is a projection cast onto a black printed surface in the lower section of the car's windscreen that spans all the space between both A-pillars. For starters, your vital driving information, with details including your speed and remaining range, will forever remain in your direct line of sight above the steering wheel. But what about the rest of the display? Right, so a key part of the all-new BMW iDrive system is the availability of individualization as well as customizability. So as you can see by this screen behind me, you can actually drag icons that go all the way up into the Panoramic Vision display. And this can contain up to 6 icons to contain all the important functions that you want as you're driving. But again, if you don't want to see so much information on the road, BMW also states that you can kind of clear the screen out for a cleaner look when you're driving. And before you ask, BMW states that extensive testing has been done to ensure that the Panoramic Vision remains clear and crisp no matter the lighting condition. With that said, let's move on to the second key component you saw earlier. With the heavy lifting done by the Panoramic Vision, we're now moving away from the curved display of OS 8 and 9 back to a free-cut designed central display. BMW states that this central display has been designed to be close to the steering wheel in an ergonomically ideal position. In our eyes, what's noteworthy and cool is the sense of continuity from existing BMWs. The zero-layer look, feel, and structure are very similar to OS 9, with one specific feature you'll see carried over being the widget-based Quick Select. As you've seen, there's also a high level of integration across components, because certain widgets on the central display can be moved up to the Panoramic Vision and with just a simple swipe too. Now, number 3. This futuristic-looking multifunction steering wheel. Your eyes should immediately notice its quite unusual design. Since your field of vision is now more elevated than before, the steering wheel's spokes are at the 6 and 12 o'clock points, allowing you to rest your thumbs at the 3 and 9 o'clock points instead for optimum comfort. This steering wheel incorporates shy tech, or tech that only evinces itself when required, which is what we've seen on cars like the iX and the iVision D concept car. So this is pretty cool. We're just going to show you what happens when you have an incoming phone call. And as you can see from the steering wheel here, with the shy tech, the phone button lights up in green. All you have to do is swipe up, and the phone call is declined. As you've probably already noticed, there's also quite a large number of buttons still, which may be unexpected for something so future-forward. But there's good reason for this, as BMW has specifically designed the whole setup to optimally combine analog and digital controls. With that said, let's move on to the final portion. Technically, you could consider the 3D head-up display as an additional part of the Panoramic Vision. But we've left this to the very end because this is the only component BMW states will be optional. Here, you can expect to be shown integrated navigation and automated driving information, with a really extensive display of driving routes and maps too. When this debuts, it will truly be quite revolutionary because it will mark the brand's first simultaneous application of two head-up technologies. All that brings us to a final important question. Why is BMW doing all this? On the one hand, it's logical to see this as a grand showcase of BMW's innovations and visions for the future as it moves into a more digital world. The arms race towards high-tech driving experiences is stiffer than ever now, and this is really about BMW looking forward in a way we haven't seen other car makers do before. On the other hand, from BMW's own perspective, it's actually interestingly also about future-proofing, but on a different level. Firstly, powered by OS X, this system promises better update and upgrade capabilities so that it's well equipped to accommodate new functions in the future. Secondly, it's also smarter and more personalized, featuring a more sophisticated intelligent personal assistant, with better behavior recognition and relying on large language models for more natural voice commands. And lastly, OS X promises to elevate the driver-orientedness of its BMWs while keeping things fresh for a new era of tech. We actually got the chance to try this whole setup out with a VR drive of sorts, with the experience feeling quite intuitive actually. But realistically, we'll only know when we get to take the first Neue Klasse car out onto the road. Thus far, however, things are looking quite exciting and promising. So there you have it guys, that was a very quick first look at the all-new BMW iDrive system. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments. If you've liked this video, don't forget to like and share it, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on TikTok at Sgcarmart. We'll see you in the next one. Bye!